chose the U.S. Navy because I love the ocean, and I felt if I was ever in a war, I would prefer to be eaten by sharks than blown up by mines, and that is the God's truth.
I served in the US Army, and I would say it was a combination of the extreme motivation to join the military and a 17-year-old girl's complete and utter impatience. I went down to join the Navy. I came from a Navy background. I was around the Navy my entire life. My whole experience had been pretty much dedicated towards the Navy branch. Only when I went down to the Naval Recruiter's office, they were closed. And I was kind of standing out there looking at their office hours and trying to figure out whether they were at lunch. The Army recruiter came outside and invited me to come in and sit and get away from the heat and wait for the Navy recruiter to return. The look of surprise on my grandparents' face when I brought the Army recruiter home to sign my enlistment contract was fantastic.
That's a very good question. Because I just got back from Cape May, New Jersey this week. My son, who graduated from the Coast Guard boot camp, and he absolutely loved it. Not the boot camp, but he's looking forward to going to his technician school. He's going to be an electronics technician, so yes, I would recommend it, but let your children decide that.
I have 2 boys, and whether they're going to serve has been a conversation in our household for years. Sometimes I fear that they like to tell me, hey, I want to go in the military because it's something they know I would be proud of. But either way, if my kids elected to go to college or they join the military, as long as they make something of themselves, I would support any decision.
Enjoying my life. My kids are gone, and we love our new house with a pool, and that is my mission in life. To do what I like doing, it's not work, and just come home, work on the house, do little improvements if I can.
The infinite possibility of change. I love the fact that, like, with the military, yes, anything can change. You can be PCS, but it can only change to a certain degree. As a civilian, you can follow the job market, you can follow your heart, your passion. You can decide, I don't like my job, and immediately quit it without it being UCMJ. I love the family time. There's not the threat of forced deployments, with both me and my husband being prior service and active duty at one point. We get the time to each other. We had the ability to pick up, sell our house, and move to the water because one of our greatest passions in life is fishing and basically everything in Tampa Bay.
Sometimes. I have a lot more. I still have the camaraderie even now, so that's a bonus. But for somebody that's maybe not looking for this type of gig, I understand that, but there's veterans all over the place. You'll recognize them as you go along, and they'll help you.
I absolutely do miss my time in uniform. There was a bit of a simple life in the military. You know what you're doing from day to day. It's not really a shocker. I mean, you might get orders, but usually it happens weeks, months ahead of time. You know what time you're getting up every day. You know what time you're getting off every day, just about. You have the freedoms after work. It's kind of easy because they give you certain pay to cover housing, or you live in the barracks and you don't have to worry about the upkeep of your own house. That was an easier life.
Don't do it for yourself. Do it for your country, nothing else. Because you're going to get those benefits anyway. But I just say do it for the right reasons. Don't just, because it's not all about you. Your actions are going to affect a bunch of people, because you and thousands of other guys like you in uniform are going to make a difference somewhere, fulfilling national objectives. of the President of the United States. That's the end game right there. So I did it for the travel though. Like, okay, we go kick these people's ass, and then we get to go to Palma de Mallorca, Spain, where I get to lay on a beach for a week and get some R&R, and then go back and look for something else to do.
I would say know yourself better. A lot of people, they do it on a whim. They don't completely know that it's something they want to do, but the people that are 100% successful with it, they're successful because they knew before they ever walked into a recruiting station that it was absolutely something they must do for themselves. It's fantastic to know that you're giving back to your country, but you have to be the person that is driven by that. Also, it's important to know, or at least have some kind of basic idea in what you're interested in. So when you talk to your recruiters, you can pick something that's compatible with your lifestyle. If you're interested in law enforcement, you absolutely don't want to go and be an admin specialist. You know, get into the MP side. If you're interested in working, you know, with truck driving or motor pool, get into that side, because once you're in, you have to wait years to re-enlist, to reclassify to a job you get. Or if it's something you think you might be interested in, but you aren't quite sure if you have enough passion to drive to complete the education behind it, you could be reclassed to the needs of your service and end up doing something you absolutely hate. And if you hate your job and you can't find motivation behind it, you'll likely end up failing in your military career and getting out after one term.